All right, fantastic. So, everyone for joining us today. We're very excited to announce a partnership between us and MicroTrain. And here to tell us a little bit about what MicroTrain is and what they can bring to the table and kind of answer some questions and give us some direction is Mary Toomey from MicroTrain. So Mary, thank you so much for working with us and being a partner to our clients. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about MicroTrain?
Great. Well, my name is Mary Toomey, like you said, and I am so excited to be here. Thank you very much. I'm a senior program director with MicroTrain, and what MicroTrain is we're a technology and business training organization, but more importantly, we're a back-to-work organization. So we've been in business for over 21 years, and we have 3 locations around the Chicagoland area. One in Lombard, one in Deerfield, and one in Chicago. Unfortunately, all those offices are closed to the public, but fortunately, all our training is still done. We're proud to announce that we still do all our training via Zoom, so you can train right from your home now. You don't have to go anywhere. And we've been doing Zoom technology for over 2 years, so it's nothing new to MicroTrain. So it's been kind of a nice transition where a lot of other training facilities have had to kind of rush into the Zoom technology and try to figure this thing out, where we've kind of come into it. But really what we strive in is to find people who are unemployed, where we can help them learn about a program that we work with and that we partner with that's called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or else called WIOA. That's the acronym. I'll be using that for throughout this presentation. And what that is, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, the WIOA program, is an opportunity for the unemployed to get training without paying for it, believe it or not. So it's an amazing grant that allows the unemployed or underemployed, it helps those people obtain a grant between $5,000 and $10,000 in the state of Illinois to get this grant, and it pays for training and all kinds of other services that this grant does to help you get back to work. It's a back to work grant. And what MicroTrain does, we kind of help people, because this is a federal grant. It actually started back in 1998. It used to be called WIA. It changed to WIOA in 2014, and it's been around, and the sad thing is a lot of people just don't know about it. It goes along with your unemployment benefits. It doesn't take away from your benefits, meaning when you, if you take this grant, you still get your unemployment benefits, which is amazing. It's just an added extra to your unemployment benefits that a lot of people just don't realize that this even exists. So at MicroTrain, we try to find people who are, in this realm that might need this, and we explain the grant to them, and we kind of help them walk through the process. So when I met the ARK people, and they help the same kind of people as we do, I wanted to make sure that they knew about this grant so that we could joint venture together, so we can help people if they would like to, go about learning a little bit more about this grant. We could joint venture together and go through this process together. Is that,
That's
yeah.
perfect. Now,
okay.
Perfect. Already got a ton of questions, and
okay, great.
The most obvious question is, who is the best person for working with MicroTrain? So in other words, what kind of training do you have that might be a fit for me? How do I know if I'm a fit for you?
Right. Okay. First, I should say that this grant is not just for people that we work with. This grant for us, for MicroTrain, is more for business professionals. So if you're a project manager, if you're an IT professional, if you're administrative assistant, if you're business processing, any kind of operations, any type of, because what we, our classes, our training is more project management, operations, supply chain. We are IT, meaning like Cisco. We do AWS, the cloud, Azure, but we also specialize in business processing, business analysis. Tableau is the hot one, the data analysis, the business intelligence stuff that's so popular now, that the employers are really looking for these skills. What we hear all the time is that we hear about project managers being in the business. They've been being a project manager for 20 years, and they get laid off, unfortunately. And unfortunately, they don't have a piece of paper that says that they're certified to do what they do. They don't have a PMP, a project management certificate. So unfortunately, they get overlooked for the position because they don't have that certification. That's what this grant's about. So you have the time now that you've been furloughed or laid off, but you don't have the funds to pay for the training. So this is the gap that the government says, hey, they have the time, they just don't have the funds. Let's give them the funds while they have the time to get the training. So it's a perfect marriage where if you have the time to get, and you can get the funds with this grant and get the training, so you have that to put on your resume, that certification. Mm-hmm. So those are the, so it's a beautiful thing. So those are the best people for microtrain. However, I just want to say that this grant is also good for, it covers other things. WIOA covers nurses' aides. So if it also covers truck drivers. There's a lot of need for a CDL license. They will pay for that. A lot of people just don't know. But as far as if you wanted to come with us, of course, we don't train in CDL or those things, but we do train in, the business processes and the IT things. So it's usually, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's why it's so exciting for our clients, because so many of our clients have been temporarily laid off, furloughed. And if that happens to you for more than 3 months, oftentimes you find yourself almost feeling like your skill set is evaporated. That 3 months is almost like dog years. And then trying to reconnect with a new employer.
Exactly. And this is such a good thing to do now.
It's so difficult. And you were talking, and then you and I were talking about how difficult it is for sometimes you're trying to make that connection to a new employer, just missing that little piece. And that's what you guys are definitely there for.
That's that gap that and plus during this time, these employers are asking you, so what have you been doing during the, this time? Guess what you can say now? Well, I've decided to upgrade my skill set. I'm going to be I'm going to getting my PMP. I'm going to get this certification. I'm going to get this certification. Okay, now you sound like this person versus the person that's just waiting for the phone to ring. And I know it's a job to find a job. This is not a grant that will allow you to stop looking for a job. This is not, let's just do training and let me just, put off the job search. That's not what this is about. This is a back to work grant, and they expect you through this whole time to be available for work and to be consistently interviewing. And we encourage that as well. And even when you're in classes at MicroTrain, all of our instructors know, number one thing, get a job, get you back to work. So if you have to go out for a half-hour interview in your class, you're going to raise your hand. Your instructor is going to say, yes, go, get that, and then they're going to make up that time with you. Because
Mary, let me ask you a question. Anyone who participates in this training, do you have anyone at your end who is connected with businesses or organizations that look for microtrain graduates, so to
Yes.
speak.
Well, that's the beauty of this. We partnership with the state with this. So we're taking state money. Like when you are awarded a grant, they, the state is paying your education and Microtrain is taking that money. We owe the state something. And what is the beauty part is we owe the state to get you to do something to help you get back to work. So on staff, we have an employer partnership person, and her job is solely to make relationships with Chicagoland companies that are looking for project managers, that are looking for IT managers, that are looking for operations managers, administrative assistants, our specific jobs, not just insurance agents or whatever that are all out there, specific job titles that our clients want.
Mm-hmm.
And what she does is says, hi, I work with Microtrain. We have people in our classes right now that are ready to start work, that are getting certifications. Before you put that ad out to, and spend money on that deed, will you please take a look at our candidates before you do that? And the beauty part of it for the employer is we don't charge them. We're not charging them.
We get that. We have the same kind of road. So we get
right. They love it. And what they love even more is I talk to those employer partners. They love that our candidates are motivated enough to go to class every day, get certification. They know how hard it is and still look for a job. So they know our candidates are a rise above the most. So they immediately want to talk to people. We have hiring events. We used to have them right on site, but now with the COVID, we are doing Zoom meetings. We're having our employer partners come and they get to meet all the candidates in a hiring event via Zoom. So it's really nice. It's great for the candidate. It's great for the hiring partner, and it's great for Microtrain because this gal that gets to do this has to report to us how many people she gets hired, because we have to report to the state every month. How many people did you help get back to work? And I was thinking next month, oh boy. Last month I'm like, oh no, what is that number going to be? It was 14 people. And I thought 14 jobs she got people. I thought that was amazing. And the month before was at 13. So she's still doing it. So it's not, it's not impossible. She is still, getting people work. We're still, have a positive attitude with this COVID. It's not like we're saying, you don't have, we're still going for it. So it's still viable, and I love it. I love that she's doing that. So this service is amazing, and that all comes with, there's no charge to anybody. So
that's really interesting, Mary. I want to jump ahead one point, and then I want to come back because you start talking about employment. One of the things that you mentioned to us in having this initial conversation was that once you obtain that first certification, you can gain employment yet continue your training. Can you touch on that just a little bit? Yes.
So what happens a lot of times is you're going through this process of getting the grant, and you're getting, I think it's a build of confidence, because you're getting excited about getting these certifications, and you have something more to talk about to employers. So I think your confidence builds up just because you're even going through this process. So I think more interviews come with confidence. So I think, and when you tell people what you're doing, so what happens to a lot of our people is they get jobs right after they get the voucher. They'll get into the certification, they'll get into a class, and they get the call that they got the job. Uh-oh, I just got $10,000 awarded of this education. Now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
The good news about Microtrain is we know that. and you can continue your training because we have Saturday classes. So typically it's Monday through Friday because you're off work, correct? And a lot of people just want to get it done in a condensed way. But we have Saturday classes, so we just move your training to Saturdays. Classes are offered in the evening on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursday nights. That is another option. Not all of our, I'll be very honest with you, not all of our classes are offered on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, but most of them are offered on Saturdays as an option.
Now,
Yes.
Mary, I know that as people are listening to this, they're getting excited and they're thinking about the process. And before we discuss the process, one of the reasons that this is a partnership and one of the reasons that we're working together in this is because there is a process. And that process does have some time involved in it.
Right.
And so I kind of want to bring Andrea in at this point. And Andrea, I want you to, if you would, talk to people about why it's necessary that they come to us first when they think about going through this process, and how the ARK has done services to guarantee that as people go through this process, then they don't miss out on the other availabilities that are available to them as a client and a partner of the ARK.
So, yeah, here's the thing. The reason that we really encourage you, and it's kind of a prerequisite to this, if you will, by coming to the ARK and by coming to the ARK via Zoom, we have conversations that really kind of identify who you are. What we don't want is for you to leap into something and 2 weeks into this class, you're like, I hate this. I mean, that might happen anyway. For those of us who went to college, you always had a class that you were like, ugh, I just want to sleep through it. But with this, I think it's really important, number one, to establish your identity, to find out who you are, and to really look at this with a hardcore, realistic view. This is going to take time. It's going to take commitment. And through a conversation and hearing you talk, we can determine if this is going to hurt you or help you, which is what this is all about. You want to go, this is an amazing program. My first reaction is to encourage everyone, but it's not going to be for everybody. And we have to talk to you and we have to find out if you are the right fit. And that's why we basically encourage you to talk to us and tell us what your fears are and tell us what your roadblocks are. You don't have childcare, for example. You can't sit in a room without getting up and helping an older parent. There's all different types of scenarios that if you come to us first, and hopefully we will be able to help you. And then when you go to microtrain, you're coming in with a confidence and a plan and you're set to go. So
That's
really,
fantastic. That's fantastic, Andrea. And I know just from talking to you how many times people come to you and talk to you about finding employment or starting a training program, and that's all that they want from the ARK. And then suddenly, as they're going through that process of trying to find a job or trying to complete that training program, they suddenly identify that they need a lot more of those services they may need while they're going through a program.
right. I mean, that is something, and Jonathan, that's a great point. And this is something that I want everyone to really hear. While we are the employment department and our purpose is to get you up and working and kind of regain your balance and your financial stability, the ARK, and this is not an advertisement necessarily for the ARK, but it will help you make a decision if this program is right for you, because you will be able, excuse me, you can use our pantry. There is medical, there is dental, there is optometry, there are all the one-stop shop services that can give you that feeling of confidence that you're taking care of yourself in order to do well, to get to that other level of being employed. If you're not taking care of yourself, nothing is going to work. And that's just the way life is. You know, if you're not eating right, listen, I love chocolate more than any human being on the face of the earth. But I also know that if I don't kind of supplement my diet with, you know, grown-up food, I'm going to be sick. So I'm just saying that you really have to look at yourself and determine what services can I use in addition to employment so that I am a healthy person. And now I can go to microtrain and I'm as together as I can be under the circumstances. So please, please, please take advantage of us so you can take advantage of microtrain. It's a process. It's a process. And both of these entities, which I just have tremendous respect for, are begging you to use us. So, yeah.
And Andrea, thank you for bringing up the word process. Mary, it's funny because when you and I first talked about this, my biggest question to you with the huge smile on my face was, so what's the catch? And catch is the process.
It is.
And so I know that you have an entire webinar that once we get them through the initial steps of working with the ARK and getting them over to you, that they'll watch. So, but if you can give us kind of a 30,000 foot overview of what that process is, I'd be appreciative.
Okay. That's what everyone asks. What's the catch? It's a grant that you never have to pay back. $10,000. Come on. Come on. That's what they all say to me. There's some point I'm going to have to bring out my credit card. No, you're never going to have to pay anything. And if you look at our website right now and you look, you're going to get 4 certifications and you're going to say, how could that even be? Most schools, training schools will scholarship you the balance. So 0 will come out of your pocket. However, the catch will be the process. Can you hang in there for the process? This process is 4 to 6 weeks, most likely. And a lot of people want to be in training tomorrow. They want the grant tomorrow. And unfortunately, you're not gonna walk in to a state facility and they're gonna just hand you $10,000 for training.
Great fantasy.
Yeah. If they did, everyone would be in line, right?
Right.
So it's a process. So what is the process? You're going to go, you're going to need a resume, and I'm sure everyone's got a resume. And then you're going to have to go and go to an orientation session. Now, everything is done online now. Before, you used to have to go to a facility, fill out a, application, that kind of thing. No. So now you're going to be directed to, that's why it's nice. Microtrain kind of helps you through the steps. We'll direct you to a facility that is processing people. And then these are the steps. So you will go to some type of an orientation online. That'll be either live online, or they'll send you like a type of a PowerPoint. Once you read the PowerPoint, then they'll send you an application. You fill out the application. Then you wait, and you wait for a career coach to call you. Then the career coach will call you, and these people are wonderful. They are genuinely there to serve you and to help you get back to work. They're state employees, but they are your one-on-one personal coach that is there to provide services to get you back to work. So the first services they're going to offer are not the grant. They're not going to say, okay, well, yeah, you deserve the grant. No, they're going to start asking you about core services. So they're going to send you to some workshops. And some of these workshops might be a resume workshop, an interview workshop. Everything's done online. You don't have to go anywhere. So that's the nice thing. You're also going to have to upload some documents. You're going to have to find your social security card and your passport and you have to prove who you are. You're also going to have to find your college. If you went to college, you're going to have to find your diploma or your transcripts or your high school transcripts or diploma. They have to know who you are and where you're coming from. So those are the things that slow down people at times. So, you know, if you're even thinking about it, those are the things to gather. Then the career coach is going to ask you questions. They're going to want to interview you. They might give you 3 to 4 times where they're going to have one-on-one sessions with you. This is over the 4 to 6 week period. And then at the very end of this, they say, you know, if you've told them what they want to hear and how they want to hear it, they say, you know what, sounds like training might be something that is good for you. And at the end of the line, then you're going to have to find 2 training facilities similar to MicroTrain that you're going to have to do paperwork on. And basically find, you know, it's a quoting process. They're going to have to pick 2, you know, training facilities to, you know, to quote the training that you believe that you need. And your career coach and you are going to come up with a training plan. However, MicroTrain can help you with a training plan as well before you even get to the career coach. And the ARK can help you as well. Like, we can all jointly talk about what is going to be best for you, what kinds of jobs you're going for are requiring these certifications. Why, you know, basically what you're doing with your career coach is talking about the gaps in your resume that are causing no one to call. That's what it's all about. And if you're telling them that, you know what, you know, every time I go to apply for a project management job, they're calling out for a, you know, agile certification and I don't have it, you know, then doesn't that make sense that, you know, you show them 5 jobs that call out for these certifications? Heck, that makes a case for this case manager to want to maybe give you a grant. I can't tell you that everyone is awarded, but I do tell you that, you know, if you go about the process correctly, there's a good chance. But I don't award them, the state does. So, but I help everyone as much as I can get through the process. So, and I've seen a lot of success. And it's so exciting when they get their grant and they get into the classes.
And Mary, I want to amplify that point and give you an opportunity to amplify that point, because you combine 2 words that scare the heck out of people: process and government.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, that really scares people, and it can scare people to the point of inaction. So can you tell us, you know, you exemplify one of the things that Andrea and I talk about all the time. We're not going to hold your hand, but we'll walk the path with you. Can you talk to us about how you walk the path with people as they go through the process?
Exactly. So I, with my clients, because it's a long process, right? So I check in on you on a weekly basis, saying, hey, what's going on? And because this gets frustrating, let's face it. And since I'll know kind of where you are based on, you know, where you are, I'll kind of know, because I've been doing this for 7 years, so I know exactly where you are in the process, and I know the pattern where things are. So you'll get a good grip of where you can be, and I'm hoping to alleviate some frustration. So you'll get checked in on. It's not like you're out there and then, oh, call me when you're ready for training. You know, like, you know, I'm not that. I'm not about that. I'm more about, hey, let's go through this together. Yes, it can be frustrating, but at the end of the line, there's this big pot of gold, you know, that's called,
Right.
you know, training. And if you can just get through it, that's the catch. That's the, and if I could just, you know, and I will tell you, I'm a straight shooter. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, because, you know, some people do get frustrated. It can be a frustrating process because they do, you know, require some things, and you think, why would they need that? I already, you know, I've had 4 people tell me about my resume. I've had 3 interview workshops. I had 20 LinkedIn things, and they want me to do this. But you always learn from something. So they have their way, and it's okay. It really is, and everyone gets through it. And the people that get through it at the end of the line say, "Whew, I got through it. I'm done, and now I'm in training. Things are great."
So I want to say something about the information that Mary is sharing. First of all, anyone who is serious about this training and serious about getting a job, the wonderful thing about this is that when you wake up and you're dealing with microtrain and you're also looking for a job, you feel productive. If you're waiting for one thing or the other, it's not as impactful as knowing I am great. I'm going after training. Hopefully I won't have to pay for it. It's like anything else, waiting to get into a school, you know, waiting to see if you're eligible for a product half price, but at least you know that you're making the effort to improve your situation. And that's a very strong, as you said before, Mary, it adds to your confidence, it adds to your energy. So no one's telling you to wait around to see if microtrain, if you're going to get that grant. That's
Don't wait.
a waste of time and energy. And you're probably not the right person for this training, by the way, if that's what you're doing. You have to be the kind of person who is driven. Even if you get a job, as Mary said, you can absolutely continue with your training in order to improve a situation that you got into because you persevered. So I guess what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is do as much as you can. There's never too much information. And you know what? Oh, well, if they want to look at your resume and they want all this information, there's a reason. There is a reason. Oh, and that's the $10,000 grant.
Yeah.
So this isn't something that's just handed out, you know, at Willy Wonka. It's not like that. So you got to bite the bullet, go with the process. You know, as Jonathan said, process, a lot of us get a little squeamish, but it is necessary. And at the end of the day, it proves to be beneficial. So
And
just wanted to say
I
that.
must say that it's a lot easier now being online. Before, you used to have to go to the office at least
Right?
4 or 5 times. You can do this from your home.
Right.
You do not have to go in the office, and that makes a lot easier. People weren't having to travel and, you know, go to the office, make appointments. So this process has gotten streamlined with the online portion of it. So and they don't want you to stop looking for a job during this. It's very important to keep looking.
Mary, I think you've done a wonderful job outlining this wonderful resource and the tremendous
Yep.
partnership that we've built here. And I think that the people who participated with asking go. And then Mary, before we lose you and lose this opportunity to talk to you, is there anything that hasn't been asked of you that we haven't given you the opportunity to convey about yourself or microtrain that you'd like to share with people?
I think that you should know that, you know, we do specialize in helping you lead this complex process, and we try to make it as easy as possible just by being there. And I think with the ARK and us, I mean, I think it's going to be a lot easier to, you know, go through it with us, you know, as a team. you're still going to have to quote out another school. So I'm confident that, I'm not trying to steer you towards microtrain. I just want, I honestly do want the best for everyone. And sometimes we're not the best school for everyone, and that's okay. It's just more important for me to get this information out to you guys, to know that there is some training available to you and some resources with this grant that you could take advantage of, and you can take advantage of as little or as much as you can. And I encourage you to do it, and I will be there for you if you would like to. We do have webinars, and they will direct you to our webinars if you want to attend, but I highly don't recommend anybody trying to do this on their own. It's almost impossible to find information online, and that's why I'm here. So it's so much easier to do it when somebody can direct you to a workforce center themselves, and kind of lead you down the path and help you along the way. It really is. So
Well,
that's
thank
about
you.
it.
Thank you for your genuine
Thanks,
assistance.
Mary. This has been great.
You'll never hear Andrea say that there's a better Jewish nonprofit organization. She'll always tell you to come to the Ark.
There you go.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you.
I appreciate the time, everything. Thank you so much.
Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye,
bye-bye.
everybody.